What's going on, everybody? You found Bottom Tier Collector, and I am your host, BTC. Will explain why I'm changing my intro in the end of the video, but let's get into it. You guys know how I roll. Bottom tier movie review of a top tier movie from a bottom tier movie watcher. Shazam! Fear of the Gods. I saw it. Got a little theme here. These are my Shazam covers, pretty much. I don't own a lot of Shazam. I don't, to divulge this information, disclose this information. That was the word I was looking for. I don't terribly know a whole lot about Shazam and the mythos. I don't know how accurate this movie, this franchise is to the comic books. I don't know how goofy Shazam really is in the comic books. But this movie was fun. You know what you're getting with, if you've watched Shazam 1, you know exactly what you're getting. It stayed true to the tone of the original movie. It felt like a true sequel. The biggest things I liked about this movie was the acting, obviously, but really expanding on Shazam 1. We didn't delve too much on Shazam, the original movie. There were callbacks to it. The Rock of Eternity, that's probably my favorite part of the movie. Seeing the heroes hang out in the Rock of Eternity, and then the room full of doors that lead to different areas of the universe or reality. And you have Steve DePain that writes a lot of these jokes throughout the movie. I really liked how expansive it was on the Shazam lore. Supposedly, in some Shazam's history, there's a humanoid tiger. I believe would have liked to have seen the humanoid tiger, but didn't get that. They speaking of calling back to the first movie, they retconned the wizard back into the movie, and it was not like a story-breaking thing to have him back. It felt appropriate, and really for a minute there, until they referenced, him being back and turning into a pile of ash, I had forgotten that he died. It's been probably since 2019, 2020, since I've seen Shazam, the original movie. So it's not exactly fresh in my mind, a lot of the callbacks and Easter eggs. Still, nonetheless, I love the wizard. I love how he bounces off Zachary Levi. And this Shazam, this goofy, charming Zachary Levi version of Shazam definitely needs the hard-nosed, very sarcastic wizard to keep him in place, to keep him grounded from getting too goofy. We didn't get too tragic here, and one thing I worry, especially now that James Gunn has come into DC, just viewing what James Gunn has done so far with superhero movies, I just worry Shazam is a character they could turn a little too tragic, and we had enough tragedy in Shazam 1, and I was glad to see Shazam relatively stayed lighthearted. It was just a good, family-friendly movie, in my opinion. I thought all the acting was good. All the actors and actresses had their time in the sun. We got a good spotlight on Freddie, the African American daughter. I don't know her character name. She got a little time in the sun with this little cute, funny kitten scene. We were getting a little more character development with the Hispanic brother. He's starting to figure out his sexuality and that kind of thing. The parents, they got their time in the sun. We called back to Shazam 1 with the house being struck by lightning. It's one of the early scenes in the movie. Excuse me. And when the daughters of, is it the daughters of Agatha? Daughters of Atlas, not Agatha. Excuse me. I've got Agatha Harkness on the mind for some reason. It's when the Daughters of Atlas invaded. After the Shazam family had revealed themselves to their foster parents. They didn't know how to parent. The wife said she told her husband she didn't know how to parent. in the particular situation they were in, where the Shazam family was fighting the villains. And I really thought that was funny. There's a lot of good jokes here. You know, again, the tone was great. I going along with the tone, I thought the actors and especially the Shazam family's ability to act like teenagers and kids inside of an adult body was pretty good. I liked that. I liked getting to see more of the Marvel family. And I think it's pretty unique that Mary Marvel doesn't transform into her adult self. She's now 21 or older, and so there's no need for her powers, the way the Shazam powers work, for her to evolve into her adult self. That's who she is now, is her adult self. So interesting to note that. The Daughters of Atlas. This is kind of where the movie fell kind of short for me, was the Daughters of Atlas. I was kind of expecting something a little grand. You know, we have the Marvel family. We're dipping into fantasy-based storytelling and lore. And usually what comes with fantasy-based lore is like army battles and stuff. And so I was anticipating the Daughters of Atlas raising the dead, or building some kind of army to fight Shazam and the Marvel family, and that never really happened. Now they did bring all these creatures into Philadelphia, which the CGI, you know, it's just not that the CGI was terrible. It was good CGI. It's just jarring to see a CGI figure in a real life setting, if that makes sense. Like the setting, the background behind the CGI character was an actual real setting. It wasn't a green screen. And so that's a little jarring. It kind of makes it look like the creatures were copied and pasted into the scene. So that felt a little empty for me. And then, you know, the scope of the fight, I think, is something I had a problem with. I didn't really care for that, how it just felt small and contained. I didn't really feel like the Daughters of Atlas were trying to take over the world. But I get some of why the scope is the way it is, because it's a Shazam movie, not a Justice League movie, not a Flashpoint movie, or whatever. It's just Shazam, and it would make sense that it's just contained to Philadelphia. I did like that the final boss fight between Lucy Liu and Zachary Levi happened in the Phillies Stadium. I don't know the name of the Phillies Stadium, but that was pretty cool. I didn't like the relationship development between Helen Mirren, her character Lucy Liu, and the young actress who played the youngest sister, the youngest daughter of Atlas. I felt like it progressed too quickly. It felt unrealistic to have Lucy Liu just kind of turn on a dime, and then Helen. There's no like moral conflict with Helen Mirren. It just cut and dry. I'm gonna take care of my sister. I'm gonna help Shazam. And that felt a little unrealistic to me. I would have liked to have seen some moral conflict with Helen. Maybe have the younger sister that doesn't necessarily view things the way Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren does. Maybe have her try to convince Helen to come to her side a little more. A little more drama, I think. There was not a lot of drama with that. It was a little too cut and dry. So that kind of fell apart for me, just the whole dynamic between the sisters. But overall, I thought the lore was cool. They're a daughter of Atlas. They're coming to take over the world. They got this wooden dragon they're going to fight Shazam with. That was pretty solid. I liked the relationship with Freddy and the youngest sister. You know, we got a lot of Freddy. Freddy's growing on me. I liked his Captain Every Power jokes. in his whole relationship building with the youngest daughter of Atlas was pretty fun. When they had a joke when they kiss, when Freddie and the daughter of Atlas kisses each other after finding out she's 6,000 years old. One of the parents, I think the dad, says, suddenly this is a little awkward or a little creepy or whatever he said. Pretty funny, just great humor. I like the. I think my favorite part of the movie is the whole idea that Shazam fantasizes about Wonder Woman. He's having a happy dream with Wonder Woman in the beginning of the movie, and then at the end of the movie, Wonder Woman actually shows up, and she pretty much turns down Shazam because she says you're 18 or whatever. Or he says, I'm fixing to be 18, and she just kind of walks away and shuts him down. I really like that. And then the end credit scene where he tells the two members of the Suicide Squad that he wants to be on the Justice League or whichever team Wonder Woman is on. When one of the operatives asks Shazam, why are you so obsessed with Wonder Woman? It's easy for me to think, why wouldn't you be obsessed with Wonder Woman? Who isn't obsessed with Wonder Woman? Everybody's obsessed with Wonder Woman. That's kind of a obvious question that requires an obvious answer. Yeah, that was hilarious. I feel like there was some shade thrown at the original Shazam and the joke of, they couldn't score Henry Cavill or Cavill, however you say his name. And so they cut the neck off the actor in the Superman suit. I feel like there was a lighthearted joke thrown at that scene in Shazam 2 because you don't see Wonder Woman's face in the happy dream, and then when Wonder Woman does turn around, it is the Wizard's face on Wonder Woman's body. Pretty hilarious scene. Pretty good joke. I liked that part. Let's see. What else was there about this movie? The bridge scene. So when they fix the bridge, and then it says on the news, they're called the San Francisco Fiascos. I really thought that was funny. the Francisco Fiasco. That was pretty funny that they're not these perfect superheroes everybody looks up to. They have their faults and their imperfections, and it almost feels like meta commentary on superhero burnout a little bit. How maybe superheroes aren't as much in popular culture anymore as they once were. That scene kind of felt like that for me a little bit. The joke of Zachary Tyler saving that lady while she's listening to "I Need a Hero" by Bonnie Tyler was pretty funny. Just a lot of good lighthearted moments. This wasn't a movie I got in my feels about like Eternals or Man of Steel. I definitely just had a good fun time with this movie. I think that'll do it for me, guys, though I don't want to spoil too much of the details. I want you guys to see it and enjoy it for yourselves. Stay tuned. I'll have that Wolverine review probably by Wednesday. I might even do it tomorrow. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with WrestleMania as far as this week goes, but I need to get back on WrestleMania. Pump out those last two videos, and hopefully before I have to go away temporarily, just temporarily, guys, I will get that conversation in with Fanboy Prime and hopefully David's Comics and Wrestling. House cleaning, explaining at the beginning of the video, I am just kind of doing a small rebranding on Instagram. I just feel so detached from craft beer these days. The way the industry's gone with craft beer, it's not this small business like dream. It doesn't feel like the heart of the American spirit anymore. The craft beer boom, all these small hyper localized breweries fighting back against Anheuser-Busch, Miller, Coors Light, um, Constellation brands, and all these mega huge beer brands. You know, that's kind of dying out. Consolidation is coming to the craft beer industry now. Your favorite craft brewer is no longer independent anymore, really. You know, Deschutes, I don't think is independent anymore. Goose Island's not independent. Elysian's not independent. Lagunitas is not independent. Dogfish Head, technically independent, but not really. They're kind of in a merged partnership with Sam Adams, and Sam Adams is I don't know what you would call Sam Adams. Technically, legally, Sam Adams qualifies as independent craft brewer, but they're kind of corporate. They have shareholders and things of that nature. Even though Jim Cook does own majority of Sam Adams still. You know, even in Alabama, between the craft breweries just in Alabama, this doesn't even have to do with mega beer brands. Straight to Ale purchased Druid City Brewing down in Tuscaloosa. And so even here with just local breweries, we're starting to see consolidation. The brewery right down the road from me, Cross-Eyed Owl, they've gone corporate. They found a private firm of investors to keep them afloat and keep that brewery going. So, you know, just my fervor and my excitement for craft beer is just it's not dead. I still drink it, I still enjoy it, but I'm just not excited about it anymore, enough to call it a hobby anymore. And so I'm just rebranding on Instagram. I'm just going full lean into bottom tier collector. If I post about beer, I post about beer. I'm no longer the bearded one. I'm just going to be bottom tier collector from now on. My full name is Jason Ball. So if you want to call me Jason, I've had friends call me Jason Ball Z. I don't really care if you guys, you know, want to call me nicknames or whatever. If you want to call me BTC from here until the end of time, that's fine with me. I'm just getting away from craft beer, and it's kind of bittersweet, you know, to think about the joy I used to get from trying different beverages. I think that's all for the house cleaning. I hope you guys liked the review. I don't feel like this was my best work, but I did want to talk about Shazam because I did like the movie. Very excited about the James Gunn verse and what James Gunn's going to do. Hopefully our boy Lobo gets greenlit. Hopefully he gets greenlit. That'll do me, guys. Till next time.